Practice is where we become us. It's where we make us. We challenge each other, we grow together. And in the meantime, if it's not fun, then what are we doing? So that's really the last part of it.
Hey, I thought it was all over.
Okay, and Dave Canales finally is here. Here is his first one-on-one, the first chat of the year, courtesy of the Panthers YouTube. Let's jump into it.
Kristen Balboni here with Panthers head coach Dave Canales. Has that title sunk in for you yet? Are you used to hearing it?
Oh, I mean, 2004, I'm the head JV coach at Carson High School. So, you know, I've been chasing that title back for a while now, but no, absolutely not. Yeah. It has not settled in. It is just seeing The Office the first time today was really exciting, and it's starting to sink in a little bit more, just the weight of it, and anticipating I'm going to have a lot of good help.
So.
Absolutely. You've already brought in Brett. It's a dude that you knew with the Bucks, Dan Morgan, and you obviously have a history, and you would know quite a few more if you watched our Who is Dave Canales series right here on YouTube. Make sure to subscribe to Roll Coverage if you want to check it out. We also have a Who is Dan Morgan series, getting to know the Panthers GM, and many, many more to come. He brings a juice, a preparedness, and of course, a love of the game of football. Regardless of anything, Dave Canales loves football.
As you think about this team and how you want to put your mark on it, what do you want a Dave Canales team to be, to embody?
For me, it starts off with an environment, and I think it's really important that all of us create an environment where our players have all of their resources at their disposal. And it truly starts there. This is of utmost importance as we assemble a staff. Offensively, defensively, special teams, and all the support staff that comes with it, that we have the understanding that it's all of us focused on each individual athlete, each individual player, and how to maximize their ability. Because what I want them to be able to come in here and do is just let it rip. I want them to just be able to show who they are, to stand for our principles. We're going to be crazy about the ball. It's our philosophy of our football. It's all about the ball. And what that means is, defense, go take it away. Offense, let's take care of it. And if we do that, the statistics say we're going to win a lot of games. Yeah. I saw it happen firsthand in Seattle. So, and beyond that, you know, just the aggressive nature, the fast play. We'll put them in difficult situations and practices so that we can become a really smart football team. And all of those things happen in practice. Practice is everything. Practice is where we become us. It's where we make us. We challenge each other, we grow together. And in the meantime, if it's not fun, then what are we doing? So that's really the last part of it.
Okay, so there's 2 points I want to add on to that. Again, if you haven't watched Who is Dave Canales, you would know so much going into this interview. This interview would seem like, yeah, man, tell me something I don't know. But again, he said that he wants his players to come out there and just be able to execute. Want to come out there, man, practice really matters, all that other stuff. So the 2 things that I pull from that is, again, he wants these players to be prepared. He doesn't want to be like last year where, we're not sure if TMJ is going to play, or we're not sure if this person's going to play. We're not sure about where our offensive line is going to be. All of that is going to be figured out because we're going to be more prepared than we were. Second part of that, he's saying that when you practice, that is who you are. So anybody that has the opportunity this year to go watch the Carolina Panthers live during training camp or anything else, that is what our Carolina Panthers are supposed to look like. Apparently, it's going to be more run-focused with, of course, we're going to take some shots. Really interested to see how that's going to mesh with the new people we're going to bring in, as well as the existing people. Of course, Evero is staying to help the defense. Dan Morgan is hopefully going to be in there getting some deals done. We, of course, need to get Derek Brown done. There's a few that are really coming up that are crucial, including Brian Burns. So this building, this preparedness is something that I love. I'm giving Dave a massive amount of props here. I'm super excited to see what you're going to do. I know it's going to take time, but so far I'm in your corner.
I like to hear that. I like to hear that. Let's talk about the hiring process for you. Why was this the right fit?
There's a lot of things that went into it. I think as I met Mr. and Mrs. Tepper, and I can feel the passion and energy and the competitive nature that they have. Kindred there in the interview, and I was hoping at the time, which I didn't know, I was hoping like, I hope they could feel that, like I'm on board with this, like this is familiar to me, and I feel like I can really bring this to this place. Bryce is a huge piece of it. My respect for him, really we're just a year removed from doing the evaluation process coming out of Alabama. Now he's got a full season, 16 out of 17 games under his belt of NFL experience. That's irreplaceable. The coverages he had to see, decisions he had to make, the speed of play. You know, it's like I got this bonus year to come in here and kind of build off of that, you know, and then of course just crazy good defense that I had to see twice last year, and they made it really hard on us. So a lot of exciting things. I can't talk about this job without talking about Dan Morgan. 7 years together in Seattle. We actually were a door away from each other for.
Okay, so the story's changed now. Originally, in most of the interviews that I've seen, it was 2 doors. I've heard in a few interviews that they were right next door to each other. And now it's a 1-door difference. So it's between 2 doors and right next door, but they were close. I'll give them that.
I think about 2 or 3 of those years before I got moved to wide receivers coach. But to just watch a guy who is so steadfast in his core beliefs, his evaluation, you know, you see remnants of who he was as a player, you know, just this like really intelligent, really fierce competitor. And so for me, it's a real, like, just an honor and a pleasure to be thinking about. I get to do it with Dan, you know, and
the same Dan Morgan that was told he had to go home when he worked for the Buffalo Bills because he worked so much and cared so much about doing well at his job. That Dan Morgan.
1-2 punch we can be to put a great team on the field and to build a championship environment.
You mentioned Bryce. Of course, I was going to ask you about him. So it sounds like that was a big reason that you took this job here. You watched his film, clearly impressed. What do you think he can become with this team?
Sky's the limit. Sky's the limit for him. I think the important part to understand is for Bryce to just see, just do your 111 on the offensive side. That's it. He's been a winner in high school. He won at Alabama. And when we build the team the right way, he'll be a winner here because he knows how to do that. And he's got the right makeup to handle those high pressure situations. We watched him for years, you know, do it. So.
Yes, but we need to put people around him for him to succeed. Bryce is not Superman, Batman, or the Green Lantern. He needs help on the outside. He needs offensive line help. But until he gets that, he's going to struggle.
I'm really excited about the next step for him.
Speaking of quarterbacks, you are famous for getting the best out of quarterbacks. What's the secret, aside from what you just told us? How do you do it?
Starts with relationship and trust.
It starts with Seattle, where he had DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. It started in I was about to say Dallas. It started with the Bucks, with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, and he's coming to a Carolina team that is most likely going to get rid of Adam Thielen. So you're hoping that LaVisca, Chark, and Mingo are gonna do this? No, he needs help on the outside. So there is a caveat to this. We don't have a true wide receiver number 1.
Hearing their story and them hearing mine, I think when we can level there and they understand that I'm there for them, I was able to do that as a position coach, and then last year, first time as a coordinator, to become whatever pass game fit Baker Mayfield, to become what fit Geno Smith. It really started with Russell, becoming what fits Russell Wilson and then representing that for the staff. We had a couple of coordinators come in there, and I would step in and say, okay, these are the things that Russell's great at, and then kind of build it around those things. So I'm excited to do that with Bryce.
One of the other caveats to it as well is, again, if you've checked out the series, Who is Dave Canales on YouTube, he's a very devoted, faith-based person. Somebody who's also very faith-based is Russell Wilson. So you got to imagine that helped him understand Russell a little bit better. From what I understand, Bryce is also very, devout in his faith, so that will be a great bridge we're seeing some of the coaches that Dave is bringing over have a history of working with faith-based football organizations. Now, I'm not digging that at all. I'm just saying that there is a link to that. So that's an interesting one.
It's something else you also really succeeded at in Tampa was calling plays, and the understanding is that's something that you'll be taking on here as well. Okay, I was going to say, correct me if I'm wrong there. Who are you as a play caller?
Yeah, there's a contrast. There's a big difference between the guy you're going to see at practice. I'm going to be sprinting around. I'm on the verge of a hamstring pull at all times, and trying to bring that to every group, trying to bring that in a competitive way against the guys we're going against. But then as a play caller, what I discovered is kind of very even-keeled, very monotone on the speakers, and let's get some jazz music going, and just kind of like, regardless of the situation, it's like, what's the next call? And so I have to flip my brain a little bit there. And of course, the ultimate, like when we have those big plays or touchdowns, that's when the celebration happens, but not until then. So a little bit of a contrast there, and again, I'm still scratching the surface on what I can do as a play caller, and I'm excited to see where my abilities grow as I've watched these other coordinators and head coaches grow and follow them through their careers, and especially the coaches like Andy Reid and people who've been doing it for a long time, who I admire, to see what they become, and the versatility, the way they get to calls quickly. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, one of the things to think of as well is he is grooming Brad Idzik to become a good offensive coordinator. Now, since Dave will be calling plays, the offense won't change if one day Brad Idzik gets a job someplace else, which is inevitable if Bryce Young becomes the player that we drafted. Again, I'm a Panthers fan. Regardless of what videos I make on this channel, I'm always a Carolina guy. But I could just see it going the other way, too. I could see Bryce not really, next year, 3,400 passing yards, 21 touchdowns, 13 picks. It's an improvement, but is that really good enough for a first-round quarterback in his second full year of starting? Bryce is going to need close to, if not eclipsing, 4,000 yards, and he's going to need north of 25 touchdowns on 11 or less picks for it to not be the question moving into next offseason, is Bryce the guy? Now, if there's anybody that's going to get it out of him, it's looking like it's going to be Dave. But I really wish that we could have gone out there and gotten a really great offensive coordinator. Maybe one that hadn't called plays to that point, or one to work with. I would have rather us gone and gotten an Eric Bieniemy for a year and really give Bryce Young every possible tool. And if Bryce Young succeeds, then Bieniemy could be promoted someplace else and go about that process. But instead, we're gambling on, I believe it's a quarterback coach or a wide receiver coach in Idzik, having never been an OC. Now, obviously, last year was Dave's first year as OC, but we saw an improvement. We saw the players really enjoy Dave Canales being there. Baker spoke very highly of him. So that lends credence to that Dave was ready. Whereas our new OC is going to be very much green in that area. So that's something to really think about going down the road as well.
Currently, now there are still some vacancies in the league left, but as it stands right now, you are the only Hispanic head coach in the NFL. What's the significance of that to you?
It means a lot to me because of where I'm from, because of my, I come from just a couple generations of dreamers who thought bigger than the situation that they were in. My grandfather came from Mexico, made a life for himself in Central Valley in California, joined the military to get citizenship. And he and my grandma just breathed life into their children, that anything is possible. And so for me, I found football early on, and I was able to just kind of chase that dream, So it's that Mexican American in me, just the willingness to take a job and just apply yourself to it, and take real pride in your work, and show up every day and take advantage of opportunities that come along my way.
Lastly, of course, this interview has been all about you, and rightfully so, but football is a family endeavor. You and your wife, Lizzie, have 4 kids. What was it like?
Absolutely beautiful family regardless. The Canales family is, are they the, the first lady and, the president of the families that have been in Carolina? Man, they're up there. They are a united front. They seem like everybody really loves to be there and that they're really excited to be around each other. Family is a big reflection on how people will be able to deal with adversity. So I'm very excited for Dave. And obviously, he's built that great family around him.
Telling them, hey guys, Dad is now the head coach of the Carolina Panthers and we're all moving to Charlotte.
For me, it was really exciting first to share that with my wife. She breathed life into this dream 20 years ago when I was a JV head coach. And after 2 years of doing it, she just knew how much it meant to me. And she said, I know you have dreams of just taking over the program here at Carson High School, but I just want to tell you, you're really good at this and you can take this as far as you want. And I got your back. And she did. She worked 3 jobs at times and she made all the sacrifices and stayed home with the kids. And she's kind of like the wind in my sails. And so it really does start there. And just, I couldn't wait to share that moment with her. And just a lot of confidence for my kids. I think they understand that it's a part of this profession, and they're excited to come here to a new city. And collectively, they showed up today in the facility, and I could see the genuine excitement and kind of shock and like, oh, this is different. So it was pretty cool to see that.
Well, Dave, congratulations to you, Lizzie, your whole family. We're thrilled to have you here, and welcome to Charlotte.
Thank you.
Absolutely appreciate not only Dave Canales, I appreciate the Carolina Panthers and everything you guys have continued to put out. Dave has said he's going to be vocal with the community, and I'm super excited for that. Maybe one day he'll come on Roll Coverage and talk with me here. But just in case you want more breakdowns, reactions, or any other content, make sure to subscribe to the socials below. My name is Nick. This has been Roll Coverage. I appreciate y'all rolling with us. Peace.